Good morning, everyone. Come on in the room. It's Wednesday workshop day. I am Gail Dudley with your news in motion. Today is Wednesday, February the 10th, 2021. And this is Workshop Wednesday. Come on in the room, people. Good morning, Stephanie and Kelly Lee and Jeffrey Allen James. Good morning to all of you. Good morning, Brenda Randeman. Good morning, Juanita. Good morning, Adrian. Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning to all of you. What's up? It's Wednesday workshop. Good morning, Kim Keels and Marion Jackson. Good morning, Antoinette. Good morning, Deborah Johnson. Good morning. Good morning, Doris Miller. Good morning, Pastor Antoinette. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. It's Wednesday workshop. Good morning, Patricia Lyles. Y'all, that's my biological sister. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Y'all ready to get to work? Good morning, Latrice Jones, girl. Good morning. Good morning, John Gore. Good morning. My husband and I was talking about you this morning. Good morning, Kenya Nicole. Good morning. Happy hump day to you. Good morning, Julie. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yay. Yay, come on in, y'all, come on in. Good morning, girl. Yeah, I was rolling this morning. I was getting it in. Almost closed that ring on that Apple Watch. Yes, I almost did. Good morning, Dana. Good morning. Good morning, Shirley. Good morning. How are you all? Come on in. Y'all, do me a favor. Those of you who are already in here, share the button. Tell people to come on over to News in Motion family because I'm giving a serious workshop today. Good morning, Pastor Annette. Good morning, Deborah Sneed. Good morning. Good morning, people. Good morning, Kim Keels. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning to everyone. You love calling me Nicole. Cracks me up. Girl, you know, I just like to give the whole name. Good morning, Laverne Price. Good morning. Good morning. First off, y'all, once again, good morning, Felicia. First off, y'all, thank y'all for hanging out with me in the mornings. You know, you could do a gazillion other things, but you choose to hang out with me. And I say thank you for that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was saying to my husband the other day, I said, I wonder if they ever get bored. And he said, you know, I'm going to just give you full transparency. He goes, I be sneaking on watching. He says, I actually enjoy it. And I was like, but you see me every day. He said, but they see you every day too. Good morning, Jacqueline. Good morning. So we just were having a good time, having dialogue. And then he's always uplifting. I love my husband. Good morning, Hester. I love him dearly. My husband is the kind of person, he's not a man of a whole lot of words. If there's no words to be had, he's not going to say them. John Gore can attest to that. So can other people who are on here. Good morning, Carolyn. And when he does offer up words, there's words. Good morning, Pastor Alex. There are words that will uplift people. My husband, you know, if you ever see him angry, that means you have taken him way far to the other side. He's that kind of person. I don't want to talk about him long because I don't want to use this to talk about him. But he's the kind of person. He said to me the other day, yeah, he is a cool cat. He really is. He said to me the other day, he said, I've seen you do all kinds of things. And he was talking about even the magazine. He says, there's something about your advocacy and what it is that you do. He says, when you do anything that has to deal with media, he said, you give it 1,000% and more. And so he was talking about how he tells people about the show. And I was like, what? He goes, have you seen so-and-so on there? I was like, yeah. He goes, oh, that's a friend of mine I told to join. And I said, they're on there almost like every day. So we were just talking. So my husband said this to me, y'all. He really does. Good morning, Brian Costa. He says, listen, Gail. He says, I know you can do anything you put your mind to. And he said, but there's something about this News in Motion and the family that has been built. He said, that needs to really be seen near and far. He said, y'all have something. He included all of us. He said, y'all have something. And he goes, and I never, ever want to see you stop unless God tells you time's up. He said, but keep going. So we were talking about the whole attorney thing that y'all saw me post yesterday. And he reminded me, y'all know, my husband's a professor, right? He's a professor. He was like, you do know you can go and you don't have to pay, right? And I was like, hey, I forgot that part. So he was like, so just go. He said, I can give you the list of all the different schools that are available. He goes, all you got to do is go. I said, oh, you just made the pot a little bit sweeter, babe. But even in that, he encouraged me. And he said, he goes, I never want to cancel your dreams. He said, never. He said, but make a decision. He said, if you want to do it, just do it. He said, and then good morning, Ron Robinson. He said, get with somebody who's going to mentor you and coach you and see you through. He says, but I need you to do me one favor. And I said, what's that? He said, don't stop News in Motion. That's how much this man loves News in Motion, y'all. That's how much this man loves News in Motion. So I just wanted to share that with all of y'all this morning. Good morning, Demia. Good morning. So let's get started. So that's a word not just for me, that's for anybody. So let's get started. Don't forget this is Wednesday workshop. So make sure, good morning, Deborah Thomas. Make sure you have some, either your memos for your smartphone. Good morning, Michael Priestley, or your laptop or some journal. I'm giving you some serious nuggets. My team wanted me to let you know the value of the workshop that I'm giving you. The value, if I was to put a number value on this workshop that you're getting here free in the family, y'all, it's over $1,000. Just letting me tell y'all that. So make sure you're gleaning from this free information and take notes. Take notes, y'all. Take notes. And I will only do this with people that I love, and I love y'all. So I'm going to be doing this. Good morning to my brother, Liz Pryor III. Good morning. All right, y'all. So before we even get to Wednesday workshop, impeachment in motion. What was that? From the defense. But anyway, the Senate voted 56-44 to proceed with the trial of that man, the former occupant yesterday, following 4 hours of debate over the constitutionality of the process. Y'all, there were 5 Republicans that voted with the Democrats. And let me share this with y'all. One Republican was not going to do that. He had already said he was voting no. But after him sitting there, taking it seriously, watching that 13-minute video, oh my gosh, woo, that was a lot. And they did that on live television without bleeping out any words. My word. But if anybody who's watching that, come on, you already know what you're going to do. You should know what you're going to do. But that one particular Republican voted yes. He voted yes. Now, from several news sources that I was receiving, you had the Senator Hollies, the Senator Cruz, and others who were doing other stuff. They were playing on their phones. They were shuffling papers. They weren't watching a video. They were having side conversations. See, they know that video was going to mess them up. So here's what I want to ask all of us to do and to pray. Good morning, Peggy. I want us to pray that they get convicted, that whatever it is they feel like they cannot vote to convict and disqualify this man, that they get convicted before the vote. That is my prayer, because anybody who watches that, and then Raskin, oh my gosh, when the House manager gave that closing argument, before the GOP's team gave their argument, or the attorneys for the previous occupant gave their argument, when he took it personal, and he talked about his daughter and talked about them in the barricade in an office, and how his daughter says she would never want to come to the Capitol again. When he was sharing that information, I was bawling. I don't know about you, but I was bawling. And I was like, wow. But then when the GOP, when the occupant's first attorney got up, I don't know what he was talking about. He was all over the place. I'm like, you so shook. You just need to say, you know what, I can't do this. You could tell that he was shook. He was messed up. He needed to just go ahead and sit down. He needed to be done with it because he was already messed up. And then the other dude came up angry. He came up angry, and he kept talking about due process. And I'm going to talk about this when I get to the workshop part, but just an insight piece about due process. Due process, he wanted to rely on due process, but hear me, y'all, he was communicating it incorrectly. He was communicating due process incorrectly. He kept wanting to refer to the Constitution, and then he started reading pieces of the Constitution. And I'm like, dude, that's not even lining up with what it is that you're doing. Y'all, spokespeople for the previous occupant said that he was furious. He wanted to fire his attorneys. Trust me, if they were my attorneys, I would have wanted to fire them too. They did not help his case at all. So if the senators who are the jurors are really there paying attention, there's no way that they would not vote to convict him and disqualify him. There's no way, because the evidence is clear. The evidence is clear. So it's going to be interesting. Today is going to be 16 hours of argument. I'm going to try real hard to watch all 16 hours. Don't think I'll make it, but there's going to be 16 hours of argument. So if you are interested in it, this is one way that you can follow this along and you can pay attention. Notice the ongoing words that they use. So you know now that the attorneys for the previous occupant, they're going to use due process and they're going to use the Constitution. But I want to read this. The defense primary arguments are in the process of unconstitutional. Trump, I got to name his name because I'm giving a quote, didn't drive the crowd to insurrection during the January 6th speech. See, that's where they're coming from, saying that he didn't do that. And the trial violates the former president's First Amendment rights. And then they talk about the brief that they gave. And that brief is 78 pages, and I read it, and that's why he didn't hire them the first time, because they ain't ready. They're not ready. That 78-page document, the Constitution does not specify whether an official can be tried after leaving office, and there is no legal consensus of one way or the other. So here they can set the precedent for this right here, and it could be part of law that every time something comes up, they can say, well, in 2021, or on February the 8th or February 9th, 2021, this happened. This became law. This is the precedence that took place. Y'all, I love this stuff. Oh my God, I love this stuff. So there's that part of it. So we're going to just have to keep watching and see. They're trying to do this within a week, but the Democrats have the House managers have the option of calling them witness. And remember the guy with the horns? He's mad. He's mad at the previous occupant. He's upset. So he really wants to be called in as a witness. And I want him to talk. Yeah, I do. Y'all, the CEOs were at the White House yesterday. I love President Joe Biden. I really do. They asked him a question before they got started with the CEOs. They asked him a question. They said, are you going to be watching this live in your office? And he said, no. He said, I only have a television in here. And then he went on to say, he said, they were hired to do their job by their constituents. And I believe they're going to do their job. I love that. That's called leadership. Something we haven't had in 4 years. So it's new for many people, but that's what you call leadership. USA Today is reporting that President Joe Biden met Tuesday with business leaders as he sought to build support for a stimulus package aimed at countering the impact of COVID-19. He goes, the American people are hurting. This is a direct quote. A lot of people are in real trouble. Biden told the officers and the people in the room. In the room included J.P. Morgan Chase Chief Executive Officer Jamie Dimon, Marvin Ellison, CEO of Lowe's, the CEO of Walmart was in there, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce CEO, he was also in there as well. So they're at the table, they're having these conversations, they're looking at what they can do and what best way. And they're still talking about that $15 an hour, y'all. I don't know if that's going anywhere or not. Good morning, Regina. I don't know if that's going anywhere or not, but they're talking about phasing it in between now and 2025 to get to that $15, and also looking at partnerships with small businesses so that they can afford the $15 for their employees. So that's not going away too fast. Y'all, founding members of the Supremes and Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Mary Wilson, died at 76. Y'all, officials conclude, and this is sad. This is really sad. The officials conclude that the pilot was an error who caused the helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gianna, and 7 others. And I hate doing it that way, but I did not pull the names out to give you their names specifically. So they're saying that the helicopter, they said he was stressed trying to get the basketball star and the other people to the game on time. So he went up into the fog instead of turning back. It's just sad all the way around. So let's pray for all of the families who are involved that's continuing to see this unfold. Now more and more people are wanting to sue not just the helicopter company, but actually the pilot and the pilot's family. So let's be just in prayer for that. Because here's the truth. We don't know what happened on there. We don't know. And they said the black box was not able to give them everything they needed. So we don't know. We don't know what happened on there. But I do believe that every last single one of those individuals and their families, they need prayer. Every last single one of them. Tragedy always seeks a scapegoat. Yeah, Latrice. And that's sad. That's sad that that's happening. So let's pray for them. Y'all, Quaker Oats officially retired Aunt Jemima, renaming the pancake brand Pearl Milling Company. So that whole new thing is called the Pearl Milling Company. So y'all, if y'all have y'all's Aunt Jemima pancakes or y'all's Aunt Jemima syrup, y'all better hold on to it. I don't know. I'm not going to. I don't even think I have. I think I have log cabin. So there's that. Fortune is reporting, y'all. You're talking about philanthropists, y'all. Here's the role of a philanthropist. Jeff Bezos gave away more than $10 billion in 2020. He don't pay any taxes, but he's doing it legally. However, he's finding the loopholes. I just wish we knew how to do the loopholes in our community. The name don't sound right. What name, Michael Priestley? The name Pearl Milling Company. Yep, I hear that. So Fortune is reporting Jeff Bezos gave away $10 billion with a B dollars in 2020. Y'all, his ex-wife Mackenzie Scott gave away $5.7 billion. That's B, not an M, B. And then we have Michael Bloomberg, who gave away $1.6 billion, and most of that went to the campaigns. They are the top of the list of Americans philanthropists of 2020. Can you believe that? Can you believe that? Billion with a B. I'm trying to figure out why we can't get a part of that action. Mike Bloomberg, News and Motion could use some. Jeff Bezos, News and Motion. We got mentoring programs here. We got Alpha Phi Alpha. We have churches on here. We have Greater Gethsemane on here. Y'all, can y'all hear us and just give us a little piece of that pie? We're trying to help with food insecure. Can you help us help with people that need some food, some place to stay, some education? Can you help us with anything? We have a whole community. We got artists on here. We have entrepreneurs on here. We got an opera singer on here. We got all kinds of people. Can you help us out? You know, you gave away billions with a B. We just want thousands. If we can get $500,000, we'd be okay. We'd be okay. I recommend that all Black people do research on Aunt Jemima. That's good. That's a good homework assignment. That may go with the workshop today. All right, people. I see y'all advancing my thing. Y'all, Nashville, Tennessee's newest museum chronicles 400 years of Black music. 400 years of Black music. All right, y'all, I'm getting to the workshop. Hold on, I'm getting there. I see my time's running. Y'all, Robin Hood. Thank you, Pastor Annette, for sending this. Y'all, the Washington Post reported that a 20-year-old by the name of Alex Kearns died by suicide last summer after he saw his Robinhood online account appearing to be a negative balance of $730,000. The company had emailed him demanding immediate action in the form of a deposit of more than $178,000. He was a college student, y'all. He was at the University of Nebraska. He was a sophomore, and he did not have that. And he decided to take his life thinking that he got way in over his head, and so he took his life. He did not talk to his family. He didn't talk to anybody. He made the decision to take his life. Now his family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit because the email that was sent to him was not accurate. That was not the truth. And more of these things are coming forward now that they're checking out their customer service department and reps and other stories that are coming in, that there's some other stuff going on here. So y'all always proceed with caution when you're doing anything. Make sure you have understanding. Consult with somebody. I really feel bad for this family and the loss of their son. and the loss of their son. All right, y'all, the coronavirus numbers in the U.S. confirmed cases 27,799,946. Confirmed cases, y'all can tell they're slowing some. 27,799,946. Deaths, 479,772. Again, the deaths are 479,772. Recovered, 17,639,212. Again, let's celebrate this recovery number, 17,639,217. They're saying that COVID brain is real. They're saying that COVID brain is real and that it's a side effect with some COVID-19 patients characterized by confusion and a loss of short-term memory. Now, I can tell you that's true because I can ask my daughter a question or we can be having a conversation and she will go like, I'm like, you okay? And she goes, oh, yeah. Can you tell me what you just asked me? And she has never done that before. So, y'all, I want us to pray for all COVID, people who have had COVID. Let's pray for their mind. Let's pray for their thinking. Let's pray for their memory. Let's pray for their mental capacity. Let's pray for them. Let's pray a hedge of protection around them. And let's pray that anybody who's already experiencing these things will be healed. That they will be healed. I want us to do that. All right, y'all. So we're going to get to the Wednesday workshop before we get to the win. Now, again, if I had to put a price tag, because the team wants me to start pricing out what it is that I'm sharing. If I had to put a price tag to everything that I'm doing here, this is literally over $1,000, okay? And I'm going to do this in a short time period. I'm going to give you as much as I can possibly give you. But as always, if you want a one-on-one with me, all you got to do is go to my website, www.gaildudley.com, www.gaildudley.com. Many of you, we were talking about social media last week. Many of you did inbox me and say, are you ever going to get to publishing? Well, today's your day. Today is your day. We're going to get here. Today is your day. Now, I want to just work through what it looks like to be a self-publisher. I'm going to give you probably 10 minutes. I'm giving you 10 minutes. I'm looking at the clock. I'm giving y'all probably 10 minutes. And I'm looking at them and they're telling me no 5. But I'm going to give y'all 10 minutes. They're going to be mad at me, but that's okay. So again, take a moment, get your journal, whatever you want to do. This is not just self-publishing a book. This is also articles. This is submitting articles to news sources. This is what we're talking about, okay? So good morning, Kenny Stanley. So here we are. Now, you have to have a book strategy. What is it? You have to have an article strategy. What is it? What are you writing about? Who's your audience and why are you writing about it? So let's take, for example, that you want to write about due process. We're going to use that due process. Well, what is due process? You have to first do an outline and determine what due process is all about. What is it? What are the many factors? Why are we talking due process in the first place? If you don't want to do due process, we can look at food insecurity. Well, what is it? How do we launch into that? How do I begin writing an article on food insecurity? Well, you have to start with statistics. We'll say that real fast. That's where you have to start. You have to identify in your research how many people are going hungry. What are the age groups? Are there children? Are there families? What does that look like? You want to build from your research. Then you want to narrow the research into your immediate community. So for me, I will be talking about the African American female. But if I want to go beyond the African American female, I would look at the age groups. If I wanted to go beyond that, I would look at the demographics between Central Ohio. If I wanted to move beyond that, I would look at the connecting neighboring states. So that's how you build up and that's how you build down. What is it about food insecurity? Due process, look at the legality of it. Look at where it comes from. Look at the precedents that have been set behind due process. You want to build your writing from there, okay? So from that, You want to determine, well, how many words do you want to write? Do you want to write an article? If you're writing an article for a newspaper that you're going to submit, you have to do a pitch. So let me talk about pitch for a moment. I'll come back and get that. What is your pitch title? You have to have a pitch title. You have to make sure you're determining what you're going to call yourself. Are you using your legal name? Are you using, like, for example, me, I use Gail E, the middle initial Dudley. I always use E anytime I'm writing anything because that's what's been my brand. That's what's on Amazon. That's all of my books. So I use Gail E. Dudley. So who are you? Are you using a pen name or are you going to use your own name? What is the premise of it? When you're doing a pitch, what is the premise of it? You want 2 to 3 sentences to talk about that statement of the book. The podcast really goes into this topic. Yep, I did a podcast on it talking about the 5 T's. Then you want to know, well, who's representing you? Do you have a following? How many followers do you have? Are they organic or did you pay for them? Trust me, anybody who's looking will be able to determine if they are organic followers or if you paid for them. Hear me, you do not want to pay for followers. You don't want to fall into that trap. You don't, because it will skew your numbers and Amazon and other people will kick you out. Let me tell you about Amazon. Amazon is a company that will look to see even if your friends are co-signing your book. They will go to your social media to see if that's a friendly relationship or if that's a business relationship. If they see your reviews all from family and friends, they will block your reviews. They want organic people. And y'all, don't delete people who give you a 1 star out of 5. Don't. You know why? There are people who look to make sure that you don't have all 5 stars. If they see a 1 star or a 2 star, they will more than likely buy your book and review your book and give another take for your book because they're saying, why did they only rate them at that level? So you want to be open, embrace people no matter how they are giving you this information. You want to embrace people. Overview. You want to have a catchy introduction. You want to give people a peek behind the curtain to see what it is that you are writing about. Have them on the end of their seat to bring them in. So you need to have a synopsis. What is the synopsis of your title? Whether that's a blog or an article or a book. All of these things can go up. Latrice says, I never trust perfect reviews. I don't either. All these things can go up to a book. So keep everything. Keep everything. The alternate title ideas. You need to have alternate title ideas because the editor is going to be looking. So if you're submitting something to the Washington Post, let's say you're submitting something on lifestyle, they may not like your title. So what's a backup title? And don't be offended when they tell you they don't like none of the titles and they title it themselves. Because when you're a freelancer and you're submitting something, they have every right to do that. They have every right to do that. All right, y'all, what are some book ideas? One thing you can do is look at what's trending. So right now, book ideas are social justice. Book ideas are diversity. Book ideas are what to do as a remote worker. I'm giving y'all a lot of nuggets because I did the research. I'm telling y'all this is what people are looking for. So if you're interested, you want to grab this, you want to write this down. People are looking at how to do church differently. I'm helping a bishop right now. We're going to put his book, upload his book to Ingram. He's talking about the pandemic, and his book is on fire. And trust me, you're going to want to get it. That's Bishop Kenny Paramore out of Youngstown, Ohio. You would want to get his book. His book is fire. Already, Ingram is asking me questions because they've been seeing a need. How do they know the need? They see the keystrokes that are going in. Those are called cookies. Cookies on your computer is letting people know what they need. So I went through the back door at Ingram. I'm considered a traditional publishing house on Ingram, although I'm getting ready to give up publishing and only do the consulting portion. As a person who can go all the way in the back office of Ingram, I know a list of what they're looking for. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? I'm getting ready to tell you. Y'all ready? How to be a mom in the 21st century, especially in remote work, homeschooling. They want more books on homeschooling, y'all. They want a lot of books on homeschooling. How to do church differently with everything online. How to do church differently. They want to know, how about marriages? Did marriages become strengthened during the pandemic or were they weakened? They want to know these things. What are you doing for a side hustle and how did you put it together? They want step-by-step tools on helping people to put together a side hustle. How are you going to meet the needs within the community? These are books, y'all. These are books, y'all, that people are are looking for. So hear me. Y'all better write these things down. Y'all better write these things down. How to dress in this pandemic. How to dress in this pandemic. How do you handle Zoom calls? How do you handle children? Self-care. Self-care is the number one thing that Ingram and other companies, other platforms are looking for. Don't miss this, y'all. I just gave y'all a whole lot right there. So if you want to write a book, you better grab one of those topics and go for it. All right, y'all. So here's the other thing. You want to have a primary, a secondary synopsis. What is the purpose behind that? What are the reader's benefits? How are you going to benefit your audience? Again, that's an article or a book. How are you going to benefit the audience? The current interest. Y'all already know the current interest. I gave those to you. What are the unique angles to this? What's unique about this piece? What is going to make it different? Y'all, there's so much happening right now in the Black and brown community. That alone gives you a different angle. So how are you going to write that? How is it going to be edgy? What are the complementary works? How are you going to complement this piece? What are you looking for? What is it about you? Excuse me. What is it about you as the author that makes you stand out? What are you doing that's different? How do you make that stand out? They're going to want to know your personal and professional networks. They want to know your influencers and your endorsers. They want to know if you have any speaking engagements, and that can even be Zoom today. They want to know if you have a website or a blog. They want to know what your email list looks like. So start building your email list, y'all. I'm giving y'all a whole lot of information. Start building your email list, people. Start building it. Don't be afraid to ask people, do you mind you put them on their email list? Put that on your website. Letting people know, hey, sign up for my website. Thank you. Let people know. Sign up for your YouTube and tell them thank you. Social media presence. What are your presence? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest. Be very clear and specific and make sure they are cross-referencing everywhere about the podcast, about growing the audience. What are your organizations and ministries? What's the media? What are your launch efforts? How many people will support a launch of your work? So if you write something for USA Today, how many people will you be able to reach with this information? How many people? So I gave y'all a whole lot. Creating effective surveys. You can do surveys to get that out there with people. In that step one, you want to define the goal of your survey. You want to define the type of survey that you have. And I'm not even giving y'all the fill in here. I'm giving y'all very little information. I have 60 seconds. Crafting questions for the survey, summarizing the results, analyze the results, and define the conclusion. All right, y'all, that's Workshop Wednesday. That's just a little sneak peek into what it will look like when it comes to publishing. I didn't even give y'all much. If y'all go back to the podcast, thank you, Diane Ladybug, for sharing that. If y'all go back to the podcast, I believe it was 2 weeks ago, I talked about the 5 T's of publishing. Why do you want to do it? What's the purpose? What are you doing with this? Who do you want to communicate with? Here's something that every one of us should be doing. We should all be reading books. If you want to write at any capacity, make sure you are reading books. All types of books. All types of books. Make sure you're reading articles. See what it is. Look at taglines for people. Write down the taglines. Look at taglines for people. Y'all, I gave y'all just a little peek. I gave y'all 10 minutes. I do these workshops sometimes 4 hours and still don't get through all of it. But if it's something that you want to do, make sure you're setting yourself up to do it and do it well. So that's Wednesday workshop, y'all. For the win, for the win. Michelle Obama is in motion, y'all. For the win, Michelle Obama is in motion. Y'all, she dropped on her social media platforms yesterday. She says the following: I got some big news for you. This is something I've been working on for a while now, and I'm excited to finally be able to tell you about it. Allow me to introduce to you 2 friends of mine. Their names are Waffles and Mochi. And on March the 16th, we'll be launching a new children's show on Netflix called Waffles and Mochi. It's all about good food, discovering it, cooking it, and of course, eating it. It says these 2 will take us on an adventure around the world to explore new ingredients and try out new recipes. Kids will love it, but I know that adults will also get plenty of laughs and some tips for the kitchen. So, y'all, she's continuing what she was doing in the White House as the First Lady with Children's Health. So, shout out to her. She gets the win. She gets the win. Shout out for her. All right. So, y'all, March 16th, that's when you'll see it on Netflix. All right, y'all, the inspirational message, I want to talk about living in tension. Living in tension. That's the inspirational message, y'all. Living in tension. Y'all, Job 13:15 in the ESV says, though he slay me, I will hope in him. Yet I will argue my ways to his face. Well, I want to talk about deep surrender real quick. We need to change the words, and this is just me talking. Change the words from Lord save me to Lord use me. That creates deep tension. So we're no longer saying, God save me. We're saying, Lord use me. I remember reading an article that said, instead of saying, make it better for me, Lord, say, make it count, Lord. Oh, that's deep tension, y'all. That's deep tension. That's deep surrender. And here's my question that will launch me into my last few words. So hold on, y'all. How can you testify of God's provision if you have never been through? How can you testify of God's provision if you've never been through? I'll ask it one more time. How can you testify of God's provision if you've never been through? God will prepare us in order to use us when we are in a crisis. Yep. So how can we testify? If I can't testify if I've never experienced God's provision in my life, which means at some point in time in my life, I'm going to have to wrestle through the tension. See, we don't want to deal with tension. We don't want to deal with it. We don't want to face it. We don't want to live in it. But listen, y'all, tension helps us grow. The tension helps us grow. There has to be a rub to get us to go deeper in a presence with God. If everything was already all right, and it is, because God's going to show up all the time, but if everything is already all right, then what are we living in? Where's the tension here? Let's go back to yesterday. I got some messages yesterday that said, but I want to do my hair this way because I'm accepted more. As long as you know your why, and I believe several of you asked that yesterday, know your why, or made that statement. As long as you know your why, the reason why you're doing it, go ahead and do whatever it is you want to do. My whole point of saying what I shared yesterday is that sometimes we find ourselves assimilating into something and we lose who God has created us and designed us to be. Now, if something makes you happy, go and do it. But here's the other part about that. The other part about that was this. What I said yesterday created tension. And in that tension, it's easy for us to want to push back. Instead of embracing the tension and saying to ourselves, yes, why do I do these things? I used myself when I was talking about gray hair. I used myself when talking about my pre-existing condition. I used myself in talking about my health. I had to embrace why I was doing what I was doing. I'm an emotional eater. Yep, I am. I'm an emotional eater. That's a transparent moment. I'm an emotional eater. I am an emotional eater. But I have to embrace that tension and say, why do I do that? Why is it that I go to the chips and the ice cream and the whatever else to work me through this emotion that I'm dealing with? I got to embrace that. So if I'm not dealing with the tension, I can't really get down deep with who God is and what God is saying to me, because I'm using what I call an avoidance method so that I can avoid having to deal with what he's speaking and what he's sharing with me. So we talk about politics, we talk about news, and somebody like, I don't want to hear that. I'm already hearing it enough, or I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to get into the news. Well, this is news. There's a message and a call to action that goes with the news. That's why News in Motion, y'all know the saying, News in Motion is relevant commentary with the call to action mixed with the inspirational message. And in all of that, y'all, there's some tension. There's times I sit there and go, God, do you really want me to go this way? And God says, yes. Either you're going to do the assignment in which I called you to do it, or you're going to shrink back because some people are being tense with what it is that you're sharing. He goes, you have a choice. You're either going to listen to my voice and do what I've called you to do, or you're going to listen to everybody else's voices and do it their way. Now you have a choice. You can do it their way and it's eventually going to fizzle out, or you can do it my way and I'm going to keep you here even if there's only one person listening. That's the tension, y'all. That's the tension. So live into the tension. Live into that deeper surrender of what God is calling you to do. Don't run from it. Embrace it. Embrace it. All right, y'all, that was Wednesday Workshop. That was News in Motion for today. I hope you have a great day. I am Gail Dudley with News in Motion. Today is Wednesday, February the 10th, 2021. Don't forget, if you want to go deeper in what I shared with you, all you have to do is go to my website, www.gaildudley.com. There's so much we can unpack when it comes to writing for articles, being a freelancer, freelance writer, freelance author, self-publisher. There's so much that we can unpack. I just gave y'all the tip of the iceberg. All right, y'all, tomorrow, we got countdown tomorrow. We got countdown. And yep, there's going to be a little quiz tomorrow. So get ready. No Googling. Say that with me, y'all. No Googling. None. Tomorrow, y'all, tomorrow, just so that you know, tomorrow, that's where you get a prize. That's where you get a prize. We're only going to do it once a month, and we're doing it on tomorrow. No Googling. Mwah. Peace out, everybody. Make it a great day.